Hi students, I just wanted to reply to the discussion post that you did on the quote sandwich method. This was kind of introduced to us by our tutor Alicia, and she had this great PowerPoint presentation where she explained it. I just want to point out these three things are really important, and the students who did well on this assignment are the ones who fully understood and integrated these three aspects. So the content, for every time you include a quote, you want to give your reader some context as far as like, where is that quote coming from? It should never just be a quote, right? It should be so-and-so said this. And most of the time you want to include an article or a short story in your case. Now, if you've already introduced that article, then, you know, that's where there are some varieties in that. You don't want to keep saying in this short story, right? But you need to make sure they know where it's from. And then you need, they argued, they said, they related, some sort of action verb that says who said it and that they are saying something, right? And then obviously you need to have quotation marks to get around the actual dialogue or the actual text that you took from the short story in this case. And then you never want to do those to go to all that work to do those two things and then leave your reader wondering, well, why did they put that quote in? You always want to have some connection right after that to explain why you included that quote and what that has to do with your overall message, okay? So I'm going to pull up Evans. He did a good job in doing all of these things. He has The Eyes Have It written by Philip Dick, so he's already introduced it. Later on, he says that he's introducing where it's coming from even, which is great. He's not just saying, hey, he wrote this story and this is what he said. He's saying, he's setting up, you know, this is the character and what he's doing. And then he says, as seen with this dialogue, and includes the quote. And then the author's last name within parentheses at the end of the sentence, okay? And then this last part is his connection. Why are you including, why he thought it was important to include this quote? He's explaining it in context of his essay, okay? The other one I wanted to point out, well, if I can figure out how to go back. This was something I saw with several, and I just want to say that I didn't know this either. Oh shoot, where is it? Oh, okay. So this one is also well done by Veronica. She, you know, introduces the short story and the author, and then she says the author says, so that's the context and the introduction of the quote there, and then she has the actual quote. All of this is correct. This is the part I didn't realize. You do not need page numbers on websites. So that was something I learned this week. So if it's on a web page, you don't need to add the page numbers. Now, if you were reading this from an actual book, then obviously you would need page numbers. But since all of these short stories come from a website, then you just have to put the last name of the author in these parentheses, okay? All right, that's all I have. This is going to be something that's going to come up again and again, not only in my class, but in other classes as well. So make sure that you understand how to do all three of these things. This is something that really takes up your writing to the academic level. So if you want to impress your teachers, this is something that you want to make sure you have down. All right, and then as always, let me know or Alicia know if you have any questions.